The second way we build constancy, and very important, is what's called the parts or bits language in images and analogies. And what that does is it evokes that no matter what part or bit of you or of the dog or of mommy or of your toy you're currently experiencing, all the other bits continue to exist. In the States we use the word parts most often. In the UK we use the word bits. The word evokes the feeling that this is just a small part of whatever's happening, which helps the limbic brain stay calm, that I'm not losing all the other bits, and therefore the thinking brain can get it, that there's more to this than meets the eye. So we use the word bits about children, and if we only use the word to refer to children's behaviors or to aspects of the children's life or character or presence, it will backfire, because they need to hear that adults have bits for a lot of reasons. They really need to hear that. They need to not only hear the word bits when they're in trouble. If the only time you hear the word bit is when it's your angry bit, then you're going to build a defense against that word, and you feel more in trouble and more like you've lost the nurturing or breast parent. So we have to teach parents to talk an awkward way, teachers, caregivers of children who carry this deficit. It's an awkward way to talk, and we get them to practice and talk about their bits. This is my sleepy bit. This is my blue-eyed bit. This is my tired bit. I've got a cross bit. I've got a loving bit. Bits can be anything. It can be your macaroni loving bit. It can be anything. Your dog loving bit. Your winking bit. And mention those bits a little bit, and mention about 5 positive bits to 1 negative, and please don't try counting, it drives you mad. Just get more positives than negatives, and talk about the children's bits. Then when a child is struggling with a behavior like hitting or biting or yelling or name calling, you can say, Johnny, you're using the name calling bit of your angry bit. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to use your name calling bit. Can you find your appropriate words bit? Or a simpler one is when they're having trouble transitioning and mom wants them to stop playing and come in the house. Johnny, you're using your playing bit. Can you find your stop playing bit and find your coming in the house bit? There's a number of pieces to that. When you say you're using your playing bit, the child feels affirmed and noticed, exists, doesn't feel invisible, and doesn't feel intruded upon usually, like when you come up and say, it's time to stop. That feels intrusive and sudden and abrupt and makes transitions harder. So you do that validating, I see you, I get what you're doing, which means I acknowledge it's hard. The word bit also acknowledges and helps the child feel that there's more to them than their playing bit. They're so heavy into the playing, it feels like that's all they are. So when you evoke that memory, there's more to them. And then you say, can you find? That's a challenge. They like challenges, not all the time, but you're implying that they will be able to, maybe not every time, but you get much better chance of success at cooperation and transition. And even if they don't transition or cooperate this time, you are still building constancy. So it's kind of a win-win if you remember that the job isn't to be totally effective in getting children to stop every time. Nobody can do that. But even when they don't cooperate, you are still building constancy. It's hard to get people to use the bits language. Very hard. It's awkward, it's bizarre, they don't get it. And it's very, very effective.